in some of the better quality studies, instead of just asking people how much they have had gratitude lately, and that kind of relies on people remembering that or their own perception of that, it's sometimes a little unreliable. They'll do actual experimental studies, and they'll say, let's have some people who do a non-gratitude exercise, but that way they're doing something, and they'll have some participants randomly assigned to a gratitude trial. Often that is, in some of the studies I've seen, for example, journaling. They'll journal and they'll write basically a letter to someone out of gratitude. They won't actually necessarily need to give the letter, but they're practicing using their brain to be gracious, to show gratitude, expressing gratitude. Whether it's directly to the person who gets there or not, it doesn't matter, because they're practicing expressing gratitude. Versus someone who's not spending that time practicing expressing gratitude. They might be doing a puzzle, or they might be just writing a fiction short story or something else, if that's pretty similar to journaling. And there's other ways too in some other studies, but they all come down effectively to things like that, like journaling, or maybe even telling someone or pretending to tell someone, or sometimes just cognitively focusing on your own feelings of gratitude and identifying them, like you might do in cognitive behavioral therapy. And then they'll see, well, what happened to the people in the gratitude condition versus the others. These are some studies, as you can see, a sample from around 2012 to 2016. I'm sure there were more studies recently. This isn't meant to be a completely thorough literature review, but just a sample. And looking around, there are meta-analyses that bring this all together. It seems pretty clear that these aren't just a cherry-picked set of studies. These are what studies are finding. They looked at different aspects of mental health and their relationship to gratitude, finding that people who tried these gratitude exercises had a reduction in depression symptoms, reduction of the distress-related chronic pain in patients with chronic pain. They all had distress, obviously, and pain, but the ones in the gratitude condition showed some reduction, more than the other groups. Mood, so this is more general, but just improvement of mood, improvement of sleep, improvement of energy, and self-efficacy in Mills. This one was a little more self-reported, but still, they found a wide variety. Another one found depression symptoms and PTSD symptoms improving. Another one was just for people who had suffered breast cancer, and they looked at their death-related fear of recurrence, FOR. So basically, it's sort of like PTSD symptom almost, an anxiety symptom, fearing your breast cancer recurring, right? A traumatic event like breast cancer, and you have a medically related fear. And that they were able to manage this better, those who practice gratitude more. And what we do is we don't just take one study, but we look at the preponderance of studies and say, some of these have very good methodology, some of them aren't that great. But it seems pretty consistent if you look at this body of literature that, yeah, gratitude's helping. You can look at effect size to see how big is it helping. Obviously, you don't just be gracious in a journal one day and all your depression symptoms are cured. But it does, again, seem to be a relatively effective treatment, really relatively low cost, and it might fit in with some practices that you already want to do. It might give you some other benefits besides just mental health benefits with depression and stress, but also with sleep, and also just morally. Maybe it makes you feel good morally to show gratitude. Maybe it's good for the people around you and you care about them and they see your gratitude and it helps them. So there's a lot of ways besides this, but these are great additional benefit of gratitude besides all the other things gratitude does.